What's good, family? You know, I gotta get used to like looking into the camera like this, cause I be doing all this, and you know, you gotta do this, cause like I'm looking right at y'all. I want to look into y'all souls. You know what I mean? When I talk to y'all. Anyways, so now I'm about to do this reaction to Bernie Sanders on how Republicans win the media. Let's see what he got to say. You know, Bernie Sanders is definitely, you know, it's funny, like everybody gonna argue me on this, but I think the people that like Bernie are the same people. The people that like Bernie are the exact same people that would like Trump if they listen to what Trump had to say. Both of them are fighting for the same things. They want to drain the swamp in Washington. They want to get rid of the corruption in Washington. They want to get rid of lobbyists. They want to get rid of all those things like that. Both of them are saying the same thing. I felt like that would have been a good run, a good like battle, like Bernie versus Trump, but. You know, it was Kamala versus Trump, then it was Biden versus Trump, then it was Hillary versus Trump, and it's like, Trump been here for a minute. I don't know, this is his last run though, so hopefully he do a good job. I don't wish no bad on no president, but subscribe to the channel. Here we go, let's just hop right into it, man. Let's go.
As a Republican Party consumer, now I'm going to tell you something that very few people in Congress will tell you. If you are the Republican leadership, and this is what your goals are. Your goals are to give huge tax breaks to the very richest people in this country. Your goals are ultimately to privatize Social Security so that Wall Street can make money from that. Privatize Medicare so the insurance companies can make more money. Privatize education. Do away with public schools. If those are your goals and you said that to the American people, you think you get a lot of it? There are many members of the Congress today, Republicans, who not only will not raise the minimum wage, which is $5.15 an hour. You know what they will tell you, honestly? They believe in abolishing the minimum wage. Did you know that? Check it out. I'm telling you the truth. So that if Americans could work for $3 an hour or $2 an hour, not a problem.
He not lying. There are Republicans that literally believe in abolishing the minimum wage. But to be fair, from what I'm understanding about the economic side of it, is that some companies believe that by setting a minimum wage, you actually make it way more complicated for people to actually own businesses and have employees. And that if you abolish the minimum wage, you could pay people based on whatever the company is actually making. And he's right. Some companies may charge you $3, but may pay you $3, which is crazy. So I do think a minimum wage is needed to set a standard for how your business should actually be doing anyway. But also, like, you don't want to raise it too high to where, like, you know, like businesses can't even exist. Because I heard the highest salary you can make owning a McDonald's and working at the McDonald's is $90,000 a year. That's in a decent location too. So I've said that before in another video. So, you know, you got to get the economics right too before you can actually like decide on what it's going to be. But I understand exactly what he's saying. If you abolish that, there's a lot of like scammy, creepy business people that won't, like, I'm using creepy, but like messed up ass business people that won't give people what they worth. So yeah.
Now, if you had an agenda like that and you went before the American people, tax breaks for the rich, destruction of Medicare, destruction of Social Security as we know it, lowering the minimum wage or abolishing it, how many votes do you think you'd get?
None.
Not a whole lot. Maybe the richest 1% would vote for you. That's not a lot of votes. So what do I do? I've got a problem. You package it. How do you package it? And here I want you to pay attention to me. Because this is bad stuff. I don't mind debating people who say, I was on the Hannity show, Sean Hannity yesterday, and Hannity, extreme right-wing guy, he loves these tax breaks for the rich and so forth, so we had a little bit of a discussion about it. Actually, it was a loud discussion about it. But I don't mind people who are upfront about that. Okay? Give the rich more tax breaks, we can argue that. But that doesn't win you elections. So this is what you do. What you do is divide people up. When you ask me your question, how do I get elected? I said, I try to bring people together. We fight for women's rights. We support the rights of the minorities. We support the rights of the workers. We bring the majority of people together. And occasionally, honest people will have differences of opinion. In this room, there were differences of opinion. But everybody in this room is in agreement that everybody should have health care, right?
For sure.
Question number 2, should we increase funding for education or should we lower funding for education?
Increase funding.
Raise your hand, you think we should increase funding for education?
Increase it.
Okay, you're on the side of the vast majority of Americans. Okay. So on those issues, we bring people people together. Now, what do the Republicans try to do? And they use it in what we call, kind of language that they don't, not upfront about. What do? We divide people up by races, affirmative action. Well, then,
Damn, Bernie talking right now. Like, he's talking. He 100% right. He 100% right. Like, he's talking. Because think about it. What the Republicans believe in is supply side economics. That means that you deregulate businesses and allow businesses to thrive in the economy, and you give tax cuts to the wealthier people, and those tax cuts given to wealthy people with the businesses and things like that are supposed to trickle down back into the economy. But what you've noticed every time a Republican has been in power is that the money never trickles down. Like, it doesn't trickle down because the minimum wage for a period of time hadn't been increased in 15 years. It was something like that, 15, 20 years. So, like, it's like it never trickles back down. Like, so supply side economics, in theory, it is good. It's a good idea, but it don't work. And everything he just said is real. Like, who don't believe that people should have health care? I don't think he said health care. Who don't believe people should have education? Well, I mean, let's see. Let's keep going. I think he said health care, but who don't believe in those things? Who don't believe that every American should be entitled to certain things? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like health care, a decent wage if you're willing to go out and work. And in my opinion, y'all gonna hate me for saying this, I don't even care. I think if you don't want to work, there should be something to incentivize you as well. Straightforward, but we can argue that.
Black people are getting the jobs that we white people used to have. Split people, working class, white against black. Instead of working together to create decent jobs for all. Those uppity women now, they want the right to choose. We'll split people on the abortion issue. We'll split people up on the gun issue. We'll split people up on religious issues. You follow what I'm saying? So you split people up, and then they end up, if you're a middle-class person, voting against your own interests, and the rich go laughing all the way to the bank. Okay? And they very often play white workers off against everybody else.
Yep.
And we try to bring people together to say, look, we're all in this boat together. Whether you're black or white, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're Muslim, whatever you may be.
He talking, man. Listen. Charlie Kirk. Okay, Charlie Kirk. I was listening to Charlie Kirk, right? Okay, what y'all think? I'm gonna speak my mind. Charlie Kirk does nothing but deflect from every type of conversation possible. Like when he went on that debate, that Jubilee debate, where he was talking about DEI and things like that. I'm gonna react to that one too. See what y'all think of that. When he was talking about DEI and all kind of stuff like that. What was funny is he literally said it at first, like, yeah, DEI, like, it seems like it gives black women, black people more opportunities. And it's almost like he said DEI is like the destruction of our country, right? Leaving out the fact that DEI has helped more white women than it's helped black people. It's helped veterans. It helps veterans. It helps disabled people. It helps older people. It's not just for African Americans. It's for every person that could be discriminated on based on some type of characteristic that a company can go, no, you can't do that. And he left all that shit out to say Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate. And I don't see how Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate. She worked at the legislative side, she worked at the executive side, she worked at the judicial side. She worked in every single area of government. A district attorney, she was district attorney. She worked on the legislative council. She critiqued businesses and companies multiple times when they would come up to Congress and be in front of, like when they do those reviews and things like that, when they fucking do something wrong or something like that. She was doing all that. She was part of the executive side, the legislative side, and the judicial side. She was part of government, so she wasn't a DEI candidate. She was more qualified than Trump. If anything, I would say Trump is a DEI. You could consider Trump to be a DEI candidate. You know what I mean? Like, if you really look at it, like, I don't know, but let's keep going.
Everybody needs health care. How do we create a healthcare system that works for all people, not divide people up? Everybody knows that the kids, young people, do not make it into the middle class unless they have a decent college education.
Facts.
So how do we make college education accessible to all people? Not an expensive proposition. A tiny, tiny fraction of the president's tax breaks for the rich, if we put into financial aid, would make sure that every young person in this country could go to college without going deeply into debt. You don't want the vast majority of the people support us. But in order to do that, we've got to bring everybody together. And many of these, not all, and I'm not here to disparage all Republicans. Some very decent people happen to be conservative. I respect them. But some people who I don't respect will play off women against men, black against white. Oh, the gay issue, very, very big issue. Okay? Straight against gay, right? We're all supposed to hate gay people, so we split that group up. And then the argument, some of us are not patriotic. We have concerns about the war in Iraq. I voted against giving the president authority to the war in Iraq. Well, that makes us unpatriotic. We hate America. Divide those things up. And that's how they succeed. And they succeed with the help of the media. Because the media will not talk about how, in a sense, the common problems that Americans face and how we bring people together. And that's what I believe. I believe that on issues like everybody in this world thinks, I think, that instead of giving tax breaks to the rich, we should increase federal aid to education. Anyone disagree with that? But you know what? Most Americans disagree with that. All of you think that every American should be entitled to health care.
I agree.
I suspect most of you think we should not have a trade policy which allows corporations to throw American workers out on the street and run to China.
I agree.
Most Americans agree with that. And our job is to bring people together on common interests. And some of these extreme right-wing people, you watch the issues that they talk about. Affirmative action they use to divide. The issue of abortion they use to divide. The issue of guns they use to divide. And our job is to say, let's focus on basic economic issues. How do we expand the middle class? This is a great country. Why is it the average American is working longer hours for low wages than 30 years ago? Let's talk about that. Okay?
Dang, man. Dang. Bernie was spitting right there, and he's right. Like, it seems like, it just seems like things are getting so much harder. The cost of living has gone up expeditiously. Like, right now it's requiring damn near 2 people to work, you know, in one household. And it's just so much going on, and then like you have like so much like these stupid ass fights that we be having about black and white, women, gays, Muslims, anything that's possible to divide us from the point that something is going on with the money in our country. Something is going on where money is being relegated. The rich are getting richer, and the poor are getting poorer. The middle class is almost extinct. I think this is where the Democrats mess up too. I think they somewhat don't speak to the working class. And I think the Democrats also need to find a way to speak to white men where it's like, it's not just putting them down, letting them know they're just as much an ally to the situation as everybody else is. But it's kind of hard because like the other side is really good at relegating white men to think that like everybody is the enemy. So, hey, you know, well, subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash that like button. I already said this. And in all reality, like, I don't know. We'll find a way to do it. One day, like, everything's going to collapse right underneath underneath the richest feet. It always happens like that in history. It's just I'm not saying the rich, but the people who are in power, who are doing things to keep people separated, it's going to collapse under their feet one day. Because it's not just the rich. There are good rich people that want to actually really want to help out. So, I don't want to say the rich, but anyways. Hey, y'all. Peace.